Welcome to Blogging in My Bathrobe. We are going to talk about deafness today. And you guys may not realize, but my oldest daughter is hard of hearing. She measures in the mild to moderate range in one of her ears and the moderate to severe in the other. And my friend Paula has been severely to profoundly deaf since birth. Paula, do you want to talk to the people? Paula. Hey, Paula. We're doing a video here.
Hey.
We want to talk about your deafness. So, do you have your hearing aids on? All right. How long have you been deaf?
Since birth. Since the day I was born this way, we're actually spine damage. Nothing wrong with my ears. It's the nerves in the brain. I'm supposed to be special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're whistling a little bit.
Yes, it's just hearing aids.
What causes the whistling?
The same thing with the microphone and speakers close together, whatever science that is.
So you get a little feedback in the hearing aid. I know a lot of times I test if my daughter actually had her hearing aids on in her ears and turned on by closing my hand over, and that would cause feedback because I couldn't tell if they were on or not, but that causes the feedback when you cover the microphone.
When people hug me, they whistle. If I take it out, it's not in my ear, it'll whistle. And I cannot hear that high pitch without my hand.
Okay. Well, I've known you for a while, but most of these guys don't. Were you mainstreamed in school, or did you go to? I know there's a special school for the deaf in Atlanta.
I did not grow up in the deaf community. I was put into regular public school and taken out for like an hour a week for speech therapy to help with my language development. They started at around when I was around 4. They try to teach me how to read and pronounce what I see. So that's why I tend to mispronounce a lot of words that are not spelled the way they sound.
Paula's got some funny examples. She calls this mispronunciation her very own language. It's called Paulish. And all of Paula's friends are pretty fluent in Paulish. But in case this interests you, what are a few of the words that you continually misspeak, or maybe a funny story?
Credible, imminent, and I say creative, very creative.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's see. So you said that you just got taken out of one class per day for speech.
Yeah, like an hour of speech therapy. A therapist will come and try to connect. Like I don't hear S's, so I know if I blow and feel air, this is how it made the S sound. The hardest word for me to learn to pronounce was scissors.
Scissors. A lot of S's and scissors.
Yeah, and the D for the nasal sound. I know most deaf, I think some of deaf have a nasal sound. I can feel the vibration.
Nasal, she means nasal.
That's Polish, not in Polish.
Yeah. Not in Polish, it's not.
Polish is much simpler.
So, well, you catch on. You tend to catch on. Question for you. When you were born, and how long did it take them to discover that you weren't hearing like your brother did? Well, your younger brother.
Nowadays they have the test and they can do on infants to know if it's, but when I was born in 1970, they didn't have it.
That's the tympanogram, right? I think that's called the tympanogram.
I have no idea, but 1970s they didn't have it. I was supposed to be special needs. By the time I was 2, they decided I was just hearing better. It was their normal. It was 2 when I was diagnosed.
And so at what point did your mother decide that you were not going to learn how to sign? I mean, I know a lot of parents now even teach their hearing children how to do baby sign language, but your mom was adamant that you would not learn sign language.
I think my mother just didn't know, and because she was out in the country, very isolated, not a deaf community near. The only way that she could go is to drive over an hour daily to Atlanta. I just don't think she wanted to move to the city until a deaf community nearby.
Yeah.
So I really don't think they would just, she's not going to learn sign, just to adapt me from her culture, not to move to another culture with that.
Okay. Have you ever wished you would have learned sign language?
Yes. Yes. When I took the sign language class, I was the worst student.
Now, you took this as a mainstream college course, or was this
mainstream college course with other people learning to interpret that classmates? I was trying to take it as a second language class because one of the big things that great German pronunciation of the language. I'm not going to do well on that.
Yeah.
So I was using sign language as my second language.
Okay. What do you think they'd be interested in hearing?
I think the biggest misconception that a lot of people don't understand or they don't realize how much hearing affects your speech and language. Even though I'm not loud and I read a lot, I'm going to still mix them out. I'm still going to write because we write the way we speak. Mm-hmm. We write the way we hear the sound. So my grammar is very off, and that's why I call it Paula. I don't hear S's or EDs on really soft test sound. So I don't, my tenses are off. I don't know if plural, singular, or a past tense because I don't hear it, so I don't think it. Mm-hmm. So when I write, I have to go back and go, what's the grammar rule? And then, of course, we have English. With thousands and thousands of exceptions. So one rule, I'm going to go with the common rule, and then I'm going to miss it out because I'm following the common rule.
Okay. I'm sure that causes so many problems when you're writing papers for college.
Yeah. And I want to get an argument with the English language, and that's why I decided college is much better. We have one word that means many different things. Instead of having 1,000 words, I have one meaning with several words.
Mm-hmm. Well, something I wanted to bring up, a lot of funny stories concerning this. Your accent. Your accent is not the average hearing impaired person's accent.
I really don't, because there's not many people with my deafness that do speak.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of them have told me it's nasal sounds, but with the southern, it's usually what they say, because they have a lot of southern accent.
Yeah.
I can't say bed in one syllable, bed, or hell. I draw out my
yeah,
vowels.
that
like
is a very southern
thing.
But yeah, a lot of people who are severely deaf. Now, let me explain to you real quickly. There is a chart. Everybody gets that a person that wears glasses is not blind. They may rate on the scale and be credited as a health concern for their insurance or disability as blind and still be able to see shapes and shadows. But no one gets it with the hearing aid. Most of us, by the time you reach 40, are already registering under the mild level of hearing loss. Once you hit moderate, that's when you're starting to ask folks, what'd you say? Can you repeat that? People start to notice and get hearing aids when they've reached the moderate level. Above moderate, or should I say below moderate, is the severe level. And Paula is severe to profound in both ears. Profound is deaf as a doornail. There could be a shotgun going off right beside her. She'd feel the vibrations, but she wouldn't hear the sound if she was completely profoundly deaf.
I don't, without my hearing aid, I don't hear a lot. It's mainly high pitch. The one tone I can hear almost normal.
My voice.
My voice, it's usually the lower pitch, like a refrigerator humming or air conditioning kind of. I tend to hear those normal. But birds chirping, cricket, my telephone. So when people would jump up at the phone, I jump up with you because I didn't know why I was jumping up. And when I put on my hearing aid, I have to go through adjustment period, the microwave beats, all these high pitched noises that I don't sound. If you play a video game, most of y'all are responding to sound clips. Mute that and see how it affects your playing. That might give you an idea of what I am, because I didn't know how much the sound clue affects me, because I play most of my video games without sound clue. And then when I hear it, I realize my performance better.
Yeah.
So
that's a good hint. Everybody always says put a blindfold on and see what it's like to be a blind person, but try muting your favorite television show and just watching with closed captions. This is something good for everyone. most of the time my television has closed captions on for Paula, for my oldest daughter, and my youngest son. His reading capabilities are through the roof. They really are. I credit a lot of that not only because he's a pretty smart little fella, but just watching the words go across the screen while they were watching a TV show or a movie. So you were wanting to keep this under 10 minutes, Paula. Is there something
Yeah,
just really?
there's one thing that I think the biggest misconception is deafness doesn't mean I don't hear. I hear things. I have no idea how different I hear because I don't know what normal hearing is. So it's really hard for me to describe. So people think I either hear something or don't hear it. It's not that clear. A lot of times I hear noise. I just don't hear the sounds I'm not making up. So remember the grown-ups from Charlie Brown? The adults where they go wah wah wah. Remember this. That's what it sounds like to me when you're talking. That's why I need your lip read to see this to help me figure out what you're saying. And I did cry because nobody would tell me what the grown-ups were saying. I thought they were just making fun of my deafness.
I'm going to add a link above. I want you guys to go look at this. This is a short film that Paula made starring me, starring my little boy and my little girl, and a lot of our Girl Scouts. This was a short film she did, a play off of her own life and her own experiences, but it was for a film class in school. You've got to watch it. It's awesome. So this was fun. This was my first guest on Blogging in My Bathrobe, and I forced her to wear a bathrobe. She let me borrow hers. Yes. And I don't know, see if you guys like it. Ask any questions. Paula's always around. She'll answer your questions. She's usually the only one that comments on my videos right now. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.